touch or move or affect somehow the underlying reality that's underneath the projection state. If you try to move that, try to touch it, try to find it even, grasp, anything, is it possible? So when I would do things, like for instance that weed trip, unbeknownst to me, I was going to be thrust into somehow being the fulcrum between the projection state and the presence, the fundamental, unchanging presence. And almost the entirety of that trip consisted of the part of me that remembered and was taught that it can change the fundamental base reality, the underlying reality. It consisted of me trying to push on that, or trying to press on it, trying to pull from it, trying to anything about it, trying to try. And it's impossible. There's no manipulating of the isness. Like Muji would say, the isness is what it is. It's everything as it appears, as it disappears. And there's literally nothing anybody can do about it. Never has been able to be fucked with. It's not possible. But being that as higher dimensional beings, which we are, we've explored many realms and we've explored many possibilities over time. And as far as challenges go, the most fundamental challenge that possibly can exist is, can I do something about this? Can I change it? Can I move it? Can I look at it? Can I pull it? Can I do anything whatsoever about it? And that's the fundamental fear that got implanted. You have to remember, I'm making a narrative here. I'm not stating facts. There aren't facts anyway, but if you imagine what would happen if advanced beings coupled with advanced technology got as close as they could to that fundamental unchanging isness and tried to sell it or tried to manipulate it, tried to like get it to side with them, if they tried as best as they could to harness that thing and then came close, maybe it's like, you know, what they used to say about the speed of light, where you can approach it but then it becomes, you start halving the distance or something. Light can't ever, if you're trying to get to a place and you just keep halving the distance, eventually you're getting infinitely close but you never actually reach it. That's essentially what would happen to those trying to harness that force, like the final force or the final isness. And if that attempt got passed off to the rest of the population as a success, and the people were subjected to what that felt like, which would be sort of a violation, but of course, again, it's not a possible thing, so the people's internal projection system still has to be creating this. But that's what the highest level of attempts at manipulation feel like. It feels like that essence itself, or what they call God, some people call Most High, as if that could somehow be tampered with, or removed even. Like Nietzsche, he's like, God is dead, right? But what I found personally is that the only thing that can be altered is your projection state. It's that which you think forward and think backward. And of course that is intimately tied in with the physical. It's not necessarily separate from the physical, but still that which is beyond the very depth, core moment, isness aspect of everything, it has very little to do with the projection state. Although they are interlinked, they're interrelated, they're not one and the same. So what I found is that the thing you can touch and move is only your projections. That's it. Nothing else. And the same goes for all other living beings. Anybody can touch and move the projection state, and there are numerous methods to do that, and you can implement in and out of that moving all kinds of things, including technology. But the projection state in itself is Maya. It's the phenomenal state. It's the apparent things that come and go. And that's what gets manipulated. That's what gets changed. That's why your screen does not display the same picture all the time. Because the thing that can be manipulated is the projection state. But the witness of that, or the watcher, or the moment itself, is forever removed and forever untouched by all of those movements. The fulcrum. So in that sense, it becomes slightly easier to understand why people do insane appearing things, because if what's real can't be bothered, and if what's fake just was never real in the first place, and it's all passing, this too shall pass, right? That's a Jesus thing. Then it actually doesn't make a difference what happens one way or the other to that which is real. But if that which is real has been obfuscated by the projection system so well that the living being forgets about that sort of home base, then they might be flying around and fucked with projection systems for who knows how long. And then combine infinite possibilities of the mind in with that, and it can be a very long nightmare. So anyway, a few thoughts. Peace.